Be prepared. It's happening. The universe just broke the rules, and now we're about to face a moon that was never supposed to show up like this. Today is Easter, but this isn't just another Easter, not because of the moon's phase, but because of what came just before it. You've probably never been told this before, but Easter doesn't have a fixed date. It's actually calculated based on the moon, the previous full moon specifically. And in this instance, that changes everything. Today's moon isn't strange because of what it is, but because of the circumstances behind it. This Easter follows a rare pink full moon. Easter only exists today because of that pink moon. It's not a coincidence, it's cause and effect. The energy didn't end, it carried over, and now it's bleeding into everything. It's concerning how nobody seemed to have noticed this. Once you realize just how much it's affecting today's moon, you'll be completely mind-blown. And speaking of mind-blown, there's a hidden spiritual meaning behind those Easter egg hunts that almost nobody realizes. Most people think it's just a game, but it could just be more than that. There's one specific reason why this tradition is actually connected to your spiritual path. And once you understand what it really represents, you won't be able to unsee it. I'll explain it later, so don't go anywhere. But that's not even the weirdest part, because the way this Easter was calculated reveals a much deeper truth, one that might explain why you've been feeling just a little out of sync lately. Let's briefly break it down. Easter is determined by a formula most people never question. Most think it marks a fixed moment in history, but it doesn't. It floats every year. Because it's not based on dates, it's based on the moon. And that alone should tell you something. But what if that formula isn't just about tradition or celebration? What if it's a system, one built to sync us to something bigger than we can see? This year, Easter lands on April 20th, one of the latest possible dates. And because of that, it's not arriving with the energy, it's arriving after it. The moment already peaked. We're stepping in during the cool down, the aftershock. But maybe that's the point. Maybe this timing wasn't meant to elevate you. Maybe it was meant to test you. But here's where it gets even weirder. Even if you don't celebrate Easter, this weekend still reaches you. Not because of belief, but because of energy. And once you understand how that works, you'll realize this day has been affecting you more than you ever thought. Here's something most people don't realize. Easter affects your energy, even if you've never celebrated it in your life. Your system has been trained to expect something around this time of year. The world around you shifts. Shops start dressing themselves in pastels. Supermarkets overflow with sugar. Your work week feels strangely off-kilter. Even the air starts to smell like a reset. This isn't just marketing. It's an energetic imprint, one your spirit has been attuned to since childhood, whether you remember it or not. It tells your subconscious that something is supposed to happen now. Isn't it deep how Easter isn't just powerful because of tradition, but because of how we've felt during this time, over and over again? The tradition started the imprint, but it's our emotions, our energy, and how we keep showing up each year that gives this day its real power. But what happens when that expectation meets a moon that isn't acting like it normally does? This year, the Easter moon is out of phase. So instead of a climax, your body might feel pause. Instead of clarity, you might feel floaty, scattered, unfinished. Your brain is trying to celebrate. Your energy is trying to hibernate. And somewhere between those two forces, a strange sense of spiritual vertigo begins to rise. It's subtle, but undeniable. In fact, this Easter, you might feel the urge to be alone, to disconnect from the noise, to step back while the world moves forward. And that urge, it's not antisocial, It's lunar. Because the moon isn't pulling you inward to isolate you, it's pulling you inward to recalibrate you. Because the moon this weekend is doing something it rarely does, it's putting on a mask. You're being told this moon is ordinary, nothing to see here, just another weekend, just another phase. But that's the trick, because tomorrow's moon, the last quarter, is one of the most overlooked, underrated, and powerful lunar portals there is. And almost no one pays attention to it. It's not pretty like the full moon. It's not dramatic like the new moon. It doesn't demand your gaze. It just sits there, quietly broadcasting. Last quarter moons don't ask for attention. They shift you silently, without your permission. But here's the twist. This last quarter moon doesn't just land on any weekend. It lands on Easter weekend. But more importantly, it creates a strange energetic window, a kind of invisible portal that doesn't open through ceremony or ritual, but through timing. And this portal, it distorts things. Time might feel loose. Memories may feel like dreams. Conversations may echo weirdly. Even your thoughts might loop back on themselves in strange little spirals. Because the moon is doing something deliberate. It's putting on a disguise, cloaking itself in normal energy so that what it's actually broadcasting slips beneath the radar. It's like tuning into a frequency no one else knows exists. The moon's not hiding from you. It's hiding from the noise, so it can speak to those who are really listening. So the question is, have you noticed the signal? Because once you do, it gets louder. We've been taught that resurrection is about a body. And while it is, there's more to it. In a spiritual perspective, it's not just about coming back to life. It's about coming back to purpose. This time of the year has always held the symbolism of rising again. But what if the thing you're meant to resurrect isn't you exactly, but the part of you that knew why you came here in the first place? Because here's the truth. A lot of people aren't tired because they're overworked. They're tired because they're disconnected from their spiritual instruction manual. You had a blueprint, a path, but the world convinced you to chase distractions, titles, numbers, validations. You learned how to keep going, but forgot what you were going toward. And the result? A strange kind of ache that doesn't come from the body, it comes from the soul. But the sense of misalignment lingers. That's what this Easter energy is really pressing on. This isn't a resurrection of the self, it's a resurrection of the contract. The one you signed before you even got here. The one that says, this is what I came to awaken, this is what I came to restore. And the moon knows it. That's why it's not offering full brightness this year. It's offering the chance to strip away what doesn't belong to you anymore. To rise, not as who you were, but as the one you were always meant to be. Resurrection isn't about bouncing back. It's about snapping back into alignment. And the clock is ticking because the most delicate part of this energy is what comes next. If the full moon is a floodlight, the last quarter moon is a scalpel. It doesn't shine wide, it cuts sharp. And tomorrow, April 21st, marks the precise moment when the moon finishes this energetic incision. We tend to think of lunar energy as something that builds, waxes, swells. But the tail end of a moon cycle is different. It's not about momentum, it's about precision. It doesn't expand, it refines. Tomorrow's moon isn't asking you to charge up, it's asking you to cut away. The 21st marks the final day in a 3-day energetic countdown. 3 days of subtle, almost invisible recalibration. But make no mistake, it's not passive. You might feel lighter, almost strangely indifferent to things you used to cling to. You might feel hyper-aware of where your energy goes. You might even feel like certain thoughts, people, or habits are just evaporating. This is the quiet magic of frequency alignment. Not everyone will feel it, but those who do will notice that something has clicked. Not in a loud, dramatic way, but like a lock turning in a door you didn't even know was shut. And for those who don't tune in, who keep moving as if nothing is happening, they'll still be here, but they might find that the road they're on suddenly feels off, mismatched, dimmer. The gateway doesn't close, it replaces you. Because this isn't about punishment, it's about placement. You either align with the signal or you step outside of it. Remember when I said there's a hidden spiritual meaning behind Easter egg hunts? Here it is. Easter doesn't teach you to sit still and wait. It teaches you to seek. It's not just about rebirth, it's about rediscovery. Easter teaches you to look for what's hidden. And the biggest things you'll find aren't chocolate. The tradition of hunting for eggs isn't as innocent as it seems. It's ritual disguised as play. It's an ancient code rebranded for modern eyes, because the hunt is the real message. You're not supposed to stumble upon what you need. You're supposed to search for it, even when it's inconvenient, especially when it's invisible. And this year, the eggs aren't colorful. They're quiet fragments of yourself you've buried without even realizing. It could be that dream you dropped because it didn't fit the timeline, that one conversation you keep avoiding, that tiny toxic loop in your daily life that feels harmless but steals all your energy, or even that talent that keeps tugging at you when you're alone. This weekend, something rare happens. These hidden pieces start glowing, but only if you decide to look. And the real twist: the spiritual reward doesn't come from what you find. It comes from finally being willing to search. Because the search changes you, it rewires you to notice, to care, to remember what matters. And that's what sets the next chapter of your path in motion. This moon doesn't announce itself. It doesn't crash in. It slips quietly into your day like something that was always there. It's called the signal moon, not because it explains everything, but because it leaves subtle signs, whispers, strange moments that feel like reality just shifted. You won't find it by trying. It only appears when you're still. In the pause between thoughts, in the way time suddenly slows for no reason. That's the signal. That resonance in your chest before your mind can name it. Most people won't notice it, not because they can't, but because their minds are too loud. But if you get quiet, even for a moment, you'll feel it. And when you do, don't try to explain it. This isn't for your logic. It's for the part of you that already knows. Because once it clicks, you'll realize it's been there the whole time. In your dreams, in passing thoughts, in what you almost ignored. This moon isn't here to shock you, it's here to remind you of something ancient, something you were always meant to remember. And once you feel it, you won't be able to unhear it. Everyone talks about the moon like it's some distant lantern, some external force that comes to light the way. But not this one. This moon didn't rise to lead you. It rose to activate something inside you, something ancient, something personal. It's not here to give you answers. It's here to flip a switch you didn't know existed. Because the truth is, the light you've been waiting for isn't in the sky. It's coded into you. This moon just pulls it to the surface. While everyone else keeps waiting for a flash in the sky, or a shift in their luck, or a message that drops from nowhere, something deeper is happening. Quiet, subtle, but permanent. This moon is like a quiet voice in the back of your spirit saying, "You already know." And maybe you do. Maybe you've always known, but you were waiting for a permission slip, a green light, a louder sign. Now the moon is saying, no more waiting. Because this isn't the kind of light you follow, it's the kind you become. That flicker in your chest when you think about what you really want, that's it. That pull towards something that doesn't make sense yet, that's it. That quiet but relentless voice that keeps whispering, "There's more?" That's it. The moon didn't come to push you, it came to remind you. You're not supposed to be waiting for a sign. You're supposed to become one. And maybe that's the real message here. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.